Yo, what's going on, guys? Forgot here with my review of the Badlion Client 2.0 update. If you want the client, you can either buy a beta access cape for $10 from the Badlion store. You can win giveaways, or if you have 5K plus subs with relatively active subscribers, you can message SuchSpeed on Twitter or the forums or any way really, and he may give it to you. I don't know if he's still giving it out to YouTubers with more than 5K, but as you can see, this is the client. It looks pretty much the same as the old one. This is what it's going to look like when you first launch it up. When you first launch up the client, it's going to ask you to log in. You do not log in with your Minecraft account. You log in with your Badlion Forums account. So if you don't have a Badlion Forums account, you're going to have to go make one to use the client. But on the main page, it just shows you some of the recent articles. This is the cape I was talking about. There's been a little bit of drama, with Jay Halt saying how this is against EULA, selling capes and stuff like that. But they also sell unbans on like Velt, and they sold unbans on Ultra, so I'm not really sure what he's going on about there. Play tab, this is where you're going to launch up the client. It is 1.7 and 1.8. I want to make this really clear at the beginning of this video. This is in beta. It's a closed beta, so there's going to be a little bit of bugs. Whenever I've been using, I haven't been finding any bugs. It's been perfectly fine for me. But if you do encounter bugs, if you get the client, then just make a bug report. They're doing this closed beta for a reason, to find all these bugs and solve them before the full release. And they're constantly adding features, constantly listening to what the community wants. They're making this all about the community, adding features that people want. So here's the play tab. You got teams up here, which I'm not sure what it's going to be. You've got events, which will probably be like official like ESL events or something like that. I don't know. You got the Badlion Anticheat thing there. You got your little settings thing up here. If you want to allocate more RAM, you just click on your little person up here and then click on settings, and you can allocate more RAM right here. I have mine set to 4 gigabytes. That'll help you get more FPS. Use Optifine, you're obviously going to want to have that on for the best FPS. I don't know why it's even an option. I think it should just be enabled by default. And then you have MC version 1.7 and 1.8. The 1.8 version is not as, I guess, full and finished as the 1.7 version. There are a few visual bugs, but that's pretty much it. For me, it runs perfectly fine. It runs, I don't know, it's super good on Hypixel. I'm pretty sure it's allowed on Hypixel. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Alright, I don't remember where I was at, but we're just gonna go ahead and launch up the client. I think I was saying something about how it's good for Hypixel. So you can use the 1.8 version on Hypixel. There's just a few visual errors and stuff like that, but it's fine. It's only on like the home screen. But whenever you first launch up the client, you're gonna be greeted with a new home screen. As you can see, you've got mod profiles in the top left. You've got an account manager in the top right. You can click on this and switch accounts in game. You can also add accounts there if you want to do that. It does automatically get your accounts from your regular Minecraft, so you shouldn't have to add any accounts. At least it added them for me. You've got single player, multiplayer options, quick game, and you have the little language button here. Going into single player, it's the normal single player with just different buttons. Multiplayer, there is a custom server list. As you can see, you have Badlion here. You've got NA, EU, and SA, and then back right here, which will tell you if the server is offering back. You can join any server, so I could join Zonix if I want to, any of these servers here, as long as it's 1.7. So we're just going to go on Badlion so I can show you the client. And you see when you log on to Badlion, it's going to enable the Badlion anti-cheat. Most of the time it loads fairly quickly, but sometimes it does not load as quickly as other times. And as you can see, my cape right here just loaded. This is the beta access cape, and as you can see, it's also animated, so it's really cool. Whenever the client goes out of beta access, you will never ever be able to get this cape again. So if you want it, I'd snag it while you can. We're just gonna go into arena so I can show you off the features. We'll just go over here in this area where there aren't any people making noise. But when you first when you first launch up the client, it's not gonna look like mine. I've already customized my settings. But to open up your GUI, you can either press right shift or press escape and then Badlion, and it'll bring up these menus. If you go to options, you do have Optifine, as you can see, and there aren't any new controls in here, so that's fine. And then resource packs, you do have a clear glass option, but it doesn't seem to work from what I've seen. I've tried it and it didn't really work, so that might be just a bug right now. Change your FOV, obviously. Um, Going into the menu here, you got better frames. Now, as you can see, the reduced chunk updates and experimental improvements are not enabled at the moment. So whenever these do get enabled, you're probably going to be getting like at least 200, 300 more FPS. That's just my prediction. But other than that, you got armor status here. As you can see, the armor right here, it shows you a little preview of what the model look like. You can change the durability things, and you can change it to vertical or horizontal. You can even give it a background, which you can't really see here. But now you can. And you can also change the color of the background, so I guess that's cool. I don't have the background enabled, and I keep mine at horizontal. You got coordinates, which as you can see, you can have horizontal or vertical. I like horizontal, but it doesn't really work when you have like the direction thing. As you see, this will tell you like if your cores are going to go up or down, so that's pretty cool. You can also change the color to whatever you want. You can even have chroma if you like chroma. It's not a really nice looking chroma in my opinion. I don't really like it. But I mean, if you like chroma, you'll probably like it. I just keep mine at default. You got show biome and all this, so it's basically Baddies Coordinates mod with more features. You got full bright, pretty self-explanatory. It makes your game bright. Hitboxes, still little hitboxes in default Minecraft, but this is really cool. You can change the color of the hitbox to whatever color you want. You can have rainbow hitboxes if you want, so that's really cool. Never seen that feature before anywhere, so that's super awesome. And you can customize what hitboxes are shown, so that's really cool. Keystrokes, as you can see, I have mine in the top left. You can change the back color, you can turn it off and all that. You can show CPS, which as you can see, I'm clicking right now, and my CPS is shown on my left mouse button. And if I right click with my right mouse button, it'll show 9 CPS. So that's really cool. I like that. One thing I don't like is a spacebar. As you can see, it's freaking massive. They should fix the spacebar and then add key fading. Where the keystrokes like fades in and out. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, you can customize the key press and all that. Super customizable, like every module. You got minimap, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's a minimap. It doesn't have radar or cave mode, so you should be able to use this on any server. Potion status, you got minimal and vanilla. Vanilla is your normal status effect, and then minimal just shows the icon and the time. And I really like this. Something you should know is the 1.8 version will sometimes have features that the 1.7 version doesn't have, but very quickly after features are added to the 1.8 version, they end up making their way to the 1.7 version. So if you play like the 1.8 version mostly, but maybe you're playing a 1.7 server and you switch to the 1.7, some features may not be in the 1.7 version and they may be in the 1.8. I don't know why that is. I think it's easier to code at 1.8 and then they like just backport it to 1.7 or something. Don't quote me on that, I'm not too sure, but right now you also have the show arrow counter, which is pretty cool. It'll show you how many arrows you have. This may be bannable on some servers, so I'm not sure about that. You got CPS, which as you can see is up there. You have this thing called fancy font, which just makes the font look really clean. Once again, you can change the text color to whatever color you want. You make it a dark green. I just keep mine all white and stuff. And then you can change the background color on and off, and then change the opacity of all that stuff. Direction, that's the cool direction HUD up here. You can have it as that, or it's just as a simple little square like that. I like having mine like the compass because it reminds me of like Fortnite and PUBG. Looks really nice. You got show FPS. Once again, you have that fancy font. I think the fancy font looks really clean, so I keep fancy font on. You can change the background color to whatever you want. Once again, you can change the text color to whatever color you want. Going on, you have show ping, which is really cool. As you can see, it'll show you the ping of whatever server you're on. You can change the text color, background color, and then you have the foreground color, which only works if you have the icon. So if I change the color of this, as you see, the color up here will change too. So that's really cool. I prefer the icon. It just looks nice, and you can disable the background and all that. But if you like the text, you can just have it like that. I prefer the icon, but I don't even really use it anyways. So on the toggle sneak, you have mod indication, which is basically like the show on HUD in the original toggle sneak. So to just take it off, and then you have text color. Once again, every mod has text color pretty much. When it's like a HUD mod, you can change it. You have toggle sneak and sprint. Some servers, as you can see, if you hover over this, it'll say inventory sneaking may be considered an unfair advantage on some servers, but it's not on Badlion. You have fly speed. Once again, this is also may be considered cheating, may flag anti-cheats, so be careful with that on certain servers. And then you have icons, which is something different. It'll just show icons instead of the text. I like the text. You can change the text as well, so I can change this to I am running really fast. You can't put spaces, so that's kind of disappointing. I wish you could just change the whole thing, but you can only change the part in brackets, so I mean that's fine, but it would have been nice to see being able to change all of them. You got TCP no delay right here, pretty self-explanatory, helps with connections to server and stuff. Anticheat Glit, turn this off if you want more FPS. I think this should be in the better frames tab, honestly, because I don't know why it's like in the mods tab. Same thing, I don't even think TCP no delay should be like a thing. It should be enabled by default. Scoreboard, as you can see, you can turn the scoreboard on and off, and you can change the background colors, which is really cool. You can also turn on and off the red numbers. Now I'm going to put a little GIF on the screen. I'm going to try and do a GIF so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But whenever you disable the red numbers on the Badlion client, I think it should do whatever I'm showing on the screen is right now. I can't really explain it. I don't really know how to explain it, but it should do whatever's happening on the screen now. You should see it. Basically, it takes the red numbers away and then it pushes the scoreboard over to get rid of that empty space. The Badlion client version doesn't do it. As you see, it just gets rid of them and leaves that space there. So, really quick explanation. I'm just gonna have that on screen so you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't, I don't know how to explain it. It's really just hard. Time changer. As you can see, you can turn it on and off, and you can change the time of day. It's a little glitchy right now. I'm not sure why. Like, if you have it off, like it's on. Okay, there it is. Like you can freeze time. You want that on if you want it to be the same time, and you see if it's off, it just does that. But you can change it to day, night, midnight, and sunset. I like keeping my time at night, or just default. As you can see, I turned it off, but the sky's still dark. I don't know why. You have to sort of like it's a little glitchy. It'll be fixed. Once again, that's like one of the little bugs that's in here. Let me go turn on CPS. That's bugging me. But you can have it on and off if you want. It's just a little glitchy right now. Chat. If you turn chat off, it doesn't actually turn off the chat. It just turns off the settings for the chat. I think it should turn off the chat completely. That's just a suggestion. I'll probably make a forum post with all my suggestions. You can turn off the chat shadow. So if you look at the chat, you can see the text doesn't have a shadow, but if I go to here and turn text shadow on, you can sort of see it. You can really see it when I have the chat background disabled. As you can see, you can have fast chat. This will improve FPS. But if you want to go even further to improve your FPS, you can turn off text shadow, and and now you can really tell the difference. But this makes the chat kind of hard to read. So if you're gonna have the text shadow off, I'd recommend having the chat on. It's still a little hard to read with like the dark blue names unless you're up against like a dark surface. But you can do whatever you want. Another cool thing that's crazy. You can change the text color background, so I really like that. I just keep it a default though, and I'm just gonna have fast chat on with the thing because I think it looks pretty nice. You have saturation, which is you can either have the text or the icons. I like the text; it's much more simple. You change the color, of course, and you can add a background if you want. Um, it's just like the old saturation mod from a while ago. Crosshair mod. This isn't finished yet, I don't believe, because I can't like change the outline color. Like there's no outline and then there's no dot, even though there's like a color for it. So this probably isn't finished yet, but you can change the width and stuff. So if you want a very simple crosshair like this, you can make this. You just can't change the gap or the thickness or any of that at the moment. But you can change the color of your crosshair. So if you want like just a red crosshair or like just a green one, I like keeping mine a green when I do use it. And something really cool is block overlay. This was a mod. I think Scare released it, but I don't think he made it though. I know Refraction released it, I'm pretty sure, but you can change the outline color and you can change the thickness of the outline color, as you can see here. Default's just 2. Fill color, you can change whatever that color is. You can change it like red or like a dark blue or anything like that. Also, if like say I mess up my settings, say I make it like pure white, and I'm like, oh no, dude, I messed up my thing. All you have to do is click reset mod. It's going to ask you, are you sure? And then click yes, and then it'll reset the mod. I didn't show you this, but you got settings right here. You can change the GUI key, and you can have quick slide out, which makes it come out instantly. When you have that off, it does a nice slide out thing. I like having it just go instant. I don't really care about the animation. But you also have mod profiles. And you can see this is my clean profile where it only has like CPS and FPS and nothing else. And then you just change them. So profiles works perfectly just like you would. You can create a new profile. This is what all your mods are going to look like when you first launch the client if you have it. So I think they should just make it where whenever you first launch the client, it's just completely clear. You don't have any mods on your screen. And then another suggestion, let me go back to my mods profile here. GUI editing. This is really bad in my opinion. First of all, another feature, I want to be able to change the scale of the scoreboard. You can't change it. Something they should add though is what I'm trying to say is easier way to scale your mods. Because right now, let me go turn on my toggle sneak HUD so I can show you because it's the one I usually use when I'm messing around with this. Right now, to scale your mods, you have to click and drag like this. And you can make your mods massive, however big you want, and then boom, they're massive. But the problem with this click and drag thing is it's really hard to get all of your mods the same scale, and that's something that bugs me a lot. I want all of my mods to be the same scale, size. You can't really tell, and I'd probably get used to it, but it's just kind of, I don't know, like it just doesn't work right. I hate to compare, you know, things to Cheat Breaker because I do that a lot. But honestly, make it like Cheat Breaker where like you go into the settings and then there's a scale option and you can just like click and drag or change the number. Make it like that. I think that would work a lot better. Maybe in here, do it somewhere like when you click on something, it would change the scale. Um, I don't know. It's just a click and drag thing. I mean, it's fine. I'd get used to it, but it would just make it easier, a lot easier to scale your mods and stuff. So that's pretty much it for the client. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like. I'll go do one real quick duel. I'm not gonna try hard, so I'm not gonna try and win or anything. I'm just gonna try and get into a match real quickly, so I can show you guys the PvP because you're probably wondering about that. This video is already like 15 minutes long, so I'm just gonna do one. I'm not even gonna pre-gapple. I'm just gonna like shoot a little bit so you can see that it does work. There's nothing like wrong with the PvP. That guy is really low already, and I'm not really sure how. But yeah, we killed him. You didn't really get to see much of the PvP, but it performs just like 1.7, and it's really smooth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content in the near future, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.